Good morning. Today is the first day of Summerween. I have my little Summerween shirt on and everything. I'm about to go get my hair done, but I wanted to let you know that when I get back, I will show all the books that I plan on reading. But I am taking my Kindle to my hair appointment, and I'm going to be starting to read Wilderness Reform. And I believe that this is about a 13-year-old who gets sent to like a camp because he is considered troubled, so like a camp for troubled teens, and I know that it has like some paranormal twists to it and all of that good stuff, so I'm gonna start reading that while I'm getting my hair done. And then I have some other books, like I said, that I'll show you when I get back, but I didn't want you to be like, okay, why is she just like starting the video with this? By the way, I'm Heather. Nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping by, but we're starting the Summerween vlog right now. And I have already posted my reel for my TBR that I'll put here for you on Instagram. So it is officially started, and I am excited because I have some really good books. All the slow horror thriller that I have been loving this year, we're reading in this video. So I will get back to you when I get my hair did. Hey everyone, so I'm here to update you and let you know, or I'm here to update you and let you know what books I'm reading for Summerween, because I know that that intro was like, what? But I went and got my hair done. I am blonde. I haven't been blonde in years, but just letting you know what I'm going to be reading. So I have Midnight Rooms by Donyae. I've heard so things, and I've heard that it's gothic, fairy tale, weird, and very slow. So all things good for this video. Then I also have Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. I read, what was the book that I read this year by this one? The Return, and I really liked that. I really liked the pace of it. It was a slower book, and it was creepy, and it was just like that slow, ominous horror that I've been really enjoying this year. And I've heard this is a slower one too, but this is a werewolf book. And then I have Edenville by Sam Rebelein, I believe. And this is about a man named Campbell, and he's struggling. He's a writer. He's struggling for inspiration, so they move back to his wife's hometown, and the hometown is not what they think it is. Like, it's weird. There's stuff going on. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be kind of campy, and it's supposed to be have some like body horror to it. Very excited. I'm reading right now The Wilderness Reform, and it is, I can't quite put my finger on it yet. I know that there's some supernatural stuff going on, for one. Two, it is a slower paced horror book. It takes you from the very beginning of where Ben is, what happens and why he ends up at this reformatory school for boys. Or it's not, it's a reformatory camp, honestly. It's a wilderness camp. It's one of those like sketchy wilderness things where people are supposed to like come out and they're supposed to break you of all of your horrible things that you've done, and you know, those kind of camps. And he goes there, he starts to learn about the actual camp itself, and sees that boys who have gone to this camp come out completely different than what they went in as, which that's the goal, but there's something ominous about it. And they're hearing things in the woods. They're seeing these people that they have gotten to know at the camp like turn like that, and something's going on. I think I know what it is. It has a supernatural twist to it. It's kind of paranormally, but the prologue was fantastic. It hooked me from the very beginning, and I was like, what happened? Like, what's going on? I will say that there is very detailed animal things in this book. So if that's not your thing, know that going into it. They're in the woods, they're hunting, they're fishing, all of those things. So I was expecting that kind, because in the actual description it says like camping and hunting and all that. So I was expecting those scenes. But if you do not like this kind of books and you do not want to read about that kind of stuff, I would probably not read this. But it's very interesting so far. I'm about 43% in. Yes. And then I have their Monstrous Hearts. And I've heard that this is obviously a slow horror, because that's the whole theme of this, is slow horror. But I've heard so-so things about this. It's supposed to be like a gothic horror, but people are saying that it's not really horror, it's more thriller, so I'm not really sure where the category lies in here. I don't know much about it. I just really liked the cover, so I asked for the ARC and I was able to get it. Didn't get to it like I wanted to, so now I have the audiobook. And we're gonna see how it goes. Our seafood place was closed, so we're going to the Trident, or whatever, this place. It's really good. And then we're gonna go home and eat. So our date night did not go how we planned, but yep, Roosters is the place. But I also wanted to show you my food, because we were gonna go to a seafood place, but the seafood place decided they wanted to close this weekend. So we went to Roosters. Curly fries, bacon, or chicken bacon club wrap with like lettuce and cheese and tomato. I do not get the ranch because I'm lactose intolerant, but this burrito is the size of my head. It's huge, and it is it's not even a burrito, it's a wrap. It's fantastic. And they have barbecue sauce, and I love their barbecue sauce. So we're eating this. We're gonna go watch a movie. I think we're watching Thunderbolts tonight, because we are kid-free this weekend. Or not this weekend. We're kid-free tonight. And we never get to watch movies that we want to watch. So we're doing that. And I'm gonna continue reading The Wilderness Reform on my Kindle. And I will pick this book up next when I get done. Lighting's horrible because it's nighttime, and I am going to use this opportunity to clean out my phone. I have a thumb drive over here that I'm just going to like move a bunch of my pictures and old videos and stuff over while I listen to The Wilderness Reform. I was making reels earlier today, and my phone said that I only had an hour left of recording. And then I looked, and I have over 10,000 pictures / videos on my phone. It's a lot. They date all the way back to before either of my babies were born, to 2017. That's how long I've had this phone for. No, that's a lie. I've had this phone for 5 years. Anyways, it's been a while, okay? And I need to like transfer everything over. So I'm gonna do that before I go take my bath and like continue reading and stuff. I am on chapter 16, which is almost to the halfway point. Yeah, a little bit under the halfway point. So it's still going pretty slow right now, but it's that slow horror, you know, that I've been talking about. I'm getting really tired. But yeah, I'm gonna use this opportunity to listen to this book and transfer stuff over, get organized, and yeah, just wanted to share that with you. But yeah, so here it is. I'm listening to it on Audible, so you can watch me work.
Try something to get my little brother out of that smoky little shit then. Didn't plan or execute that little scheme well enough, obviously. But
I put a hold on Don't Let the Forest in my library. Hopefully the Summerween, but it hasn't come in yet. Oh, I know I'm manifesting finished wilderness reform, getting a 3.5. I'm reading stuff short keys. Amazing.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
I have a new filming spot in my house. I'm putting a bookshelf in my bedroom, and I was like, might as well just show you like the new spot. Also, if you can hear my dog, she's panting right now. So we are going to do an update. I ended up finishing Wilderness Reform, and I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I really love survival stories, especially like this, where you have a group, like a ragtag group of people, and they are having to survive. Something is going on, whether it be like natural disasters, supernatural things, and all that. And this book gave that. There were just some, you know, those evil monologues that the bad people give, and they just keep going and going and going and going. It was like that, but like all through the book, you knew that these counselors and these people running this reform camp for these kids were not good people. You knew that. And I think the pace, like the slowness of this book, set the ominous feel for the overall atmosphere and setting. But when we finally found out what was happening, that's when those evil monologues started coming out, and I was just like, oh my god. I didn't take it seriously. Like, before the people who are the bad people started like talking and the reveal happened, it was freaky. Like, the entire scene, when you finally figure out what's going on with these people, creeped me out. The overall creepiness, goriness, the overall body horror in this book was done really, really well. But just like the dialogue was sometimes a little much and overwritten. Even though you do have this group of teenage boys, the teenage boy part was written very well. Yeah, it was. But I don't really like being in teenage boys' heads. I don't like being in teenagers' heads in general, but especially teenage boys. Because if you've never been around teenage boys, like, it's something else, okay? It's just different, and I don't particularly like to be around teenage boys. But these teenage boys were dealt really hard lives, and I felt for them throughout this entire book. I felt sorry for them, even though they are considered troubled, and that's why they went to this camp. Every single one of them has a really hard life, and most of them are doing things to try to survive. And I thought that the authors did a really good job with telling their stories, and you sympathized with them. Even though they have done terrible things, it's very easy to sympathize with them because they feel so real, and they are going to a place that you know is not good, and they are promised you're going to find your best friends, and you're gonna do all these adventurous things, and blah 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 blah. And it sounds really good, obviously, but all of the horror stories that you hear about these reform schools are terrible. And this reform school is the same, except it has a supernatural twist to it. So I think that if you like Lord of the Flies, The Troop, The Honeys, all of those books, I think you would really enjoy this book specifically. Just know that it is a bro book, and you can tell that it was written by men, and it's about boys. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. And then I started reading Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, and I have gotten to the 180 page mark in less than a couple hours. I did reading sprints earlier, and I finished the Wilderness Reform, and then I immediately hopped into this book. And I am enjoying this a lot. I like the sarcasm of Rory. I like the overall slowness of the story. I like the really intense parts of the story. The werewolf part, when you see it, it's creepy as hell, okay? That overall ominous feeling is there from like the very beginning. But you also are getting the horrors of the real world in this book too. The werewolf story is kind of like it's kind of like a campy vibe. But Rory is an angry person. She's very angry. She has gone through some things and she has not been able to not get over them, but process what happened to her. She big talk about it is therapy. But once what happens to her, she doesn't know what to do with it. And she is letting her anger kind of take over that part of her. And she's having a really hard time with that. And her twin sister is pregnant. She's angry about some things, not at her sister about being pregnant, but she's angry about her sister's ex running off. And her sister asked her to come help her with the baby, like help her through her pregnancy, help her with the baby. So she comes back to her hometown. And she never wanted to come back to her hometown. And then there are some scenes with their mom, and you find out what happened to Rory when she was younger. There's also a teenage crush thing that happens, like second chance romance kind of. The overall horror of it is, I call it a soft horror, which I really like the way Rachel Harrison writes that soft horror. Because it is horrific what's going on, but there's also a lot of humor, and there's also a lot of heartfelt moments and serious talks about mental health and about the real world. So I'm enjoying it for what it is. I've been laughing. Rory is one of those people that I can connect with on a personal level because I am very sarcastic, and even when things are happening in real, even when things are going on that aren't the best, I use humor to cope with things, and that's the same way Rory is. And I feel like a lot of Rachel Harrison's characters are like that in a way, and I can appreciate that because I am like that. But I just wanted to let you know, bingo board. So I put the bingo board right here. So with the Reform, I read a horror / thriller book, and I also read a book with the night sky on it. So I have 2 spots. We just made cupcakes, and we always make cupcakes in the fall because that's like a family thing. And now that little baby's here, he helped make some cupcakes too. So that's our fall treat. It's not like they're not fall themed or whatever, but that's what we do in the fall. So I'm gonna mark it on my little bingo board right here. And then, yeah, I'm just going to keep reading. I'll fill you in. Today is day 2. I put my little reel on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should. And I guess I should tell you what it is. It's of my daily routine. My daily reading routine. Get drinks, blanket, headphones, physical book, Kindle. Rot on my spot on the couch, repeat, and throw some food in there, like sprinkle it in there sometimes. But yeah, that's my update. I'll let you know when I finish this. I was gonna read it under the covers, but it's too freaking hot over there. But I am in bed, obviously, and I'm gonna continue reading Such Sharp Teeth. Lost my train of thought there for a second. It's dark outside. I'm gonna count this as reading in the dark. Is it cheating? Maybe. But yeah, like I said, I was gonna read it under the covers, but it's too freaking hot. Like, it's so hot. Yeah. I am thoroughly enjoying my time with Such Sharp Teeth. I really like the audiobook. The narrator's doing a really good job. It's a lot more emotional than I thought it was going to be because of all the family stuff in here. I'm really liking Rory and her sister's relationship. I don't know if I mentioned this previously, but they're twins. I think I did. But Rory is finding out some stuff about her sister that is surprising her, because Rory is, she considers herself like the screw up, and her sister is her mom's favorite, and it's just always been that dynamic. Rory and her sister have always had a really good relationship, but Rory is like, well, everybody says that I'm the screw up, so that's how it's gonna always be. And then she finds out that her sister did something, and it's really surprising to her. So I believe that the werewolf, like Rory is a werewolf, but I believe that it's also metaphorical too, because, you know, everybody believes that werewolves are bad in supernatural creature, like the creature world or whatever, mythological creature world. They're horrible, they're always violent, they're angry, they're just like these bad creatures, right? And Rory believes that about herself too. So I think Rachel Harrison's doing a pretty good job with that metaphor about life, and about how don't like judge a book by its cover and all that. Hopefully I'm interpreting that correctly. I believe that I am. Whatever. But there's also like a little like love thing going on in here. I'm liking it. I hope that they can figure it out, because that part of it, even though I'm liking it, that part of it is getting kind of old. And either I want them to be together, or they just need to like not be together and stop, you know, dragging each other along. But it's a lot deeper than I thought that it was going to be, which is not a bad thing. The horror aspect is there, and like I said earlier, it's like the horrors of the world, and how you perceive yourself a horrible person, but you're really not, that kind of thing. So it's one of those, like I keep saying, one of them soft horror things, and I believe Rachel Harrison does soft horror perfect. I was looking back at my reviews of Rachel Harrison, and when I saw that I read Cackle, I gave that a 3-star a couple years ago. And I believe if I reread Cackle today, I might like it a lot more, though when it comes to witchy stories, sometimes I am not a fan. And that was one of the issues that I had with Cackle. I didn't particularly like the witchy part of it. I didn't mind the friendship between the witch and the main character, but it wasn't my thing. But like I said, that was a couple years ago. And what she's writing now, I am loving. So I might look into reading Cackle. My library has it, so I might do that. Like, do a reread to see if Rachel Harrison is going to be one of those authors that I like read everything from. Because even though I haven't given anything from her a 5-star yet, I think that it could happen. Yes. I don't know if this one's going to be a 5-star. I have about 50 pages left. 50 to 60 pages left. And right now it's looking like a 4.25. Actually, that's what I put down for my rating in my phone, was a 4.25, just because it feels that way. But that could change. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out who turned Rory. Still haven't figured that part out. I have an idea, but, and if it's that person, it's gonna be messed up, like real messed up. There's like 3 people that it could be right now, but there's one in my brain, and I'm like, that person is shady, like shady. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna continue reading this. I was just letting you know it's dark outside, so that counts. 5 minutes, 6 minutes after it counts. So I'm gonna read this. To fill you in and let you know that I ended up finishing Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison last night, and I'm giving it a 4.25. It's basically what I give Rachel Harrison, and I really liked this story. I thought that Rachel Harrison did a really good job with the balance of humor, horror, everyday life struggles, and I really felt for Rory with all of the things that she was going through. And then she gets turned into a werewolf, and she was just trying to navigate that. And like I said previously, it really plays on emotions, and Rory really knows. Rory is a very angry person, and she doesn't really know how to deal with that anger. So in the long run, there are some benefits to her being a werewolf, but then, you know, it's not really all that great with like relationships and stuff like that. So there are some push and pull moments between her and Ian, and I didn't really particularly care for that all that much. I thought that kind of took away the story, or took away from the story a little bit, and I really wanted to learn more about their werewolf lore in this particular world, and I didn't really get a lot of that. So yep, 4.25. I'm still going to continue on with Rachel Harrison. And my library has Black Sheep and So Thirsty. I also put in a review with Berkeley, or like put in a review request for Berkeley to get Play Nice, which is supposed to be publishing in September, and it's one of my most anticipated books of the year. So maybe I'll get that. You never know. But finish that. I'm gonna start with this, or start on this, Midnight Rooms. I know that this is like a fever dream horror fairy tale book, and it's supposed to be gothic. All of the things that I'm usually into, so we shall see how this goes. But just want to let you know, it's day 3 of the Summerween, and y'all, it's so hot. It's so hot already. It's so hot today. I am almost done with this book. I have close to like 80 pages left, and I know what's going on, but I'm also kind of like, I don't really know. So this is horror, fairy tale, fairy tale, fever dreamy, that kind of book. And it's kind of reminding me of Alice in Wonderland / that one book that I don't remember, Mexican Gothic. Yeah, Mexican Gothic, kind of, because the house that she's at, her name is Arabella, and she has an arranged marriage with this guy named Elias, and he is a pretty influential person, and he needs a wife, so they decided they're gonna get married, and her uncle marries her off to him. And then she gets to this house, and it's pretty dilapidated. It's old. It is weird. The family itself, kind of act like animals a little bit. And she doesn't know what's going on half the time. Like there are times in her everyday life where there are hours missing out of her memory, and she doesn't realize what's going on, and she has no recollection of what's going on. But she is falling in love with Elias. He is very nice to her. He treats her well, but her the family that she's living with and his family, they are not good people, and she's trying to just figure out what's going on with this house because it's kind of an endless maze, and she's not supposed to go out in the woods. She's not supposed to go outside of her room at night because it's supposed to be dangerous. And Elias's family, like I said, they have this animalistic way about them, and she doesn't know what's going on, and I kind of don't know what's going on either. I don't know if she's being drugged. I don't know if like it's like a, not like a time thing, but like spells or magic or something. Like I'm not really sure. Not really sure. This house just has a lot of rooms, a lot of hallways, and random rooms that are filled with old furniture, stuffed animals, not like stuffed animals, but like taxidermy animals. And yeah, Elias is really nice to her, but his family is weird as shit. And I honestly have no idea what's happening besides she's trying to figure out what's going on. She's fallen in love with him, and his family is weird as hell. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not disliking this book whatsoever. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. This book makes me feel dumb. And I think that's the whole point of it. I think that's the whole point. She doesn't know what's going on, so we're supposed to be just as confused as her. And I'm just rooting for her to try to figure out what is going on so she can tell us what's happening, because I ain't got a clue. But yeah, Alice in Wonderland, Mexican Gothic, had a baby. This came out of it. And it's historical. So there you go. I'll let you know how I feel about it. Honestly, I like the writing style. I am enjoying that a lot. And it's just the overall story. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here, man? What is happening? She's seeing animals that aren't there. Like, they like wine, they like honey for some reason. I don't have a damn clue. We'll see. Happy day 4 of Summerween. I finished The Midnight Rooms yesterday, and I'm giving it a 3.5 because half the time I didn't know what was going on in this book. Okay, it's like fever dreamy, which I like fever dream stuff, but there was so much stuff going on, and I didn't know what was real, what was fake, and all that. I am still a little bit confused. I did really like the ending, though. The ending saved this book for me. And I really liked, what's her name? Orabella. I was going to call her Ophelia for some reason, but I really liked Orabella. She has such strength. She was a very strong person. To be thrown into this family of insaneness and take it with stride, and she wanted to find out what was going on with this family, the mysteriousness behind it. She really did like Elias. Like, she was falling for him. And then you find out what's actually going on in this book, and she hit it head on, and she just steamrolled through. And I was like, you go, girl, because she had it rough, like from the very beginning. She had a very hard start. Her aunt and uncle, they had her, but they didn't want her, and that was one of the reasons why she just basically got sold off. She got married off and to this family, and it was for her own, or for her uncle's own selfish reasons as to why he did it. And she's young, she's impressionable, but she also has a very quick wit about her, and I really liked her character a lot. I thought Elias's character something was off about him, and I was correct as to why something was off about him. His family is horrible. I absolutely hated all of them. The house itself, it is very gothic-y. Like, this is straight up gothic. There are so many rooms, there are so many hallways. The rooms are weird. Like, every single room is different in some way. There are rooms that change every day. There are rooms that are clean one day and then the next day they just like it's different. Okay, there's some like magical thing going on in here too, but I didn't hate it. I just wish that I was smart enough to understand what was going on half the time in this book. I think that it was intentional by the author to make you as confused as possible, because Arabella is confused like every single day in this book. But overall, it wasn't a horrible book by any means. I think a lot of people will actually really like this. I guess I'm dumb. Okay, I will say that. I guess I'm dumb. And yeah, I absolutely love the cover though. The cover is absolutely gorgeous. That little fawn has a big role in this book too. That cup right there, she can throw it out the window. And then the butterflies and moth, oh my god. The cover is absolutely gorgeous. I'm keeping this book. And I do think that I will potentially want to go back and reread this book, just because this is a book, like, I listened to it on audio all day yesterday while I was working. And I think that that is also my fault in it as to why I did not catch on as much. I also had both kids here with me yesterday, and I was trying to listen to this and like take care of them and work and blah, blah, blah. So I think that I had a lot, like, I think this is a book that you have to sit down and you have to actually like really pay attention. So I think I will come back to this. I am planning on a video where I reread some books that I did not like in the past, or didn't rate. I'm gonna reread books, okay? Reread, because there's a Rachel Harrison book, Cackle, and I think I already said this in here, but Cackle I didn't really like a couple years ago, but I think that I would really like it now. And I think I might include that. I think I might include this in that video as well. So there's that. Now we're going to another weird ass book, Edenville. I got to about 84 pages last night before I just passed out because I was extremely tired yesterday. So this is about a guy named Cam. He is an author, struggling author, and he gets this opportunity at this university to be a professor. So his girlfriend and him, they decide that they're going to go to this university. She is from around the area and she doesn't really want to go back because something happened. I don't know what happened for her not to want to go back to like her hometown and everything, but this university is very weird. I hate to say it, like I've said it in but something nefarious is going on and I don't understand what's really happening right now. But Cam wrote this book, and let me see, hold on. Let me see if I could actually say this. Okay, I can't tell you because that's a spoiler. But this town's weird. There are sunflowers that like follow you around. There's this old lady that carries sunflowers around. Like, it seems charming and everything, but then some shit's gonna go down, and I'm excited to see what's gonna go down. I personally like books like this. Like, I like weird, slow horror purpose of all of the books that I'm reading right now. So I'm hoping that I like this. I looked at some of the reviews on Goodreads, and I didn't realize that this book was a 3.12 on Goodreads, so maybe I'll be one of the ones that like actually really loves this. So far, so good. I think Cam's an ass though. I am a little over halfway through this book, and I actually am enjoying the insaneness of this book. It was not what I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting this at all. But it's making me laugh. And it says that it is like full of humor and stuff like that. And it is. It's really funny. It's kind of campy in a way. So I guess that's why I'm really liking it too. But I think Cam is an idiot. Straight up. Quinn and his relationship is really weird to me. They, in my opinion, they seem more like siblings than actual like boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever. They don't like each other, but they're with each other. And they're like, I love you, but then they're like, do I really love you though? Because you're an ass. And I agree with Quinn. He is not the best person. And he only looks out for himself. Cam is a struggling writer, and he drags her along even though she doesn't want to be back here, like close to her hometown. And he is only thinking about Cam. And he's very easily influenced by the town as well, which, whatever. I clocked him pretty quickly that something's weird about this town. And then you finally find out what's going on in this town, and you're like, I wasn't seeing that coming. I didn't see the twist like that coming. I knew that there was something horrible that was happening, but I didn't expect the twist to be what it was. And honestly, I didn't hate it because it's something different than I have read. I thought that this was going to be like more supernatural. It still kind of is supernatural, but not ghosty wise, you know? And it's just wild. You know those stories, especially like the culty stories, which is, I'm not saying this is a cult, but like the culty stories where they are like super into what they believe, and outsiders be damned because they're going to get exactly what they want. This is this town. That's this town. And I don't hate it. But I'm weirdly liking it. Weirdly enough liking it. I don't know which way it's going to go, to be completely honest, at all. It's just a weird little book that I hopefully will finish today. It's already 2 o'clock, so I have like maybe an hour and a half left of this. So I should be able to get this finished before the fam bam gets home. They usually get home around like 4:30 or 5. But yeah, wanted to let you know that if you like weird horror that's kind of slow and that's just like simply outrageous and campy, you might really enjoy this book. Okay. I finished this and I am giving it, drumroll please, I'm giving it a 4. I thought that this book was so much fun. It was outrageous and chaotic, and it was completely like not realistic whatsoever, but I enjoyed my time with this. I can see why a lot of people don't like this, but for me it helped me just like get my brain out of, you know, the real world and everything going on. And I just had so much fun with this. So much fun. It was creepy. There was a lot of gore. There was a lot of body horror. Like the prologue, how I described it on Instagram, was slugs attacking you. It was freaking creepy and it was gross. And there's a lot of like, you know how when people have that like snot bubble in their throat, there's a lot of talk about like that kind of stuff, and but anyways, Cam and Quinn, I did not like them as a couple, which I don't think you're supposed to, because Cam is just very self-absorbed and he does not care what Quinn wants whatsoever. He is only for Cam and that is it. And I could not stand him at all. Quinn was put through the ringer. She knew that she didn't want to come back here, and she was put through the freaking ringer because of Cam, and he's an idiot. And what happened to him I wasn't sad about it at all. I think he deserved it. But overall, I thought that this was a winner. That's just me though. I absolutely freaking enjoyed myself in this book. The writing is insane. There's a little map for you. Not that I looked at it or anything, but chaos, surrealness, body horror, gore. You have to completely like remove yourself from reality to enjoy this. That's all I gotta say. And then I started reading their Monstrous Hearts, and this is a very slow book, like very slow. I enjoy slow horror, but I don't know if I'm enjoying this book because it's really weird, and the way that it's written is very simplistic, but it's trying to be overtly like beautiful in a way. Butterflies are one of the main topics in here, and I get it, like transformation, but there's also like darkness behind butterfly stuff too, you know, because they essentially die as a caterpillar and then they're like, it's rebirth. But I'm not understanding how the butterfly metaphor or analogy, or however, whatever figurative language you want to say, is connecting with everything else. I don't know if the author is doing a good enough job for me to completely understand that and love that aspect of it. We're following a writer who is struggling, and his grandmother ends up passing away, so he ends up inheriting her estate. And he's there, weird shit's happening, per usual, and he finds her diary, and he's reading her diary, and the diary part of it I don't hate. How everything's just like gonna go together, you know? But I'll fill you in and let you know. Today is day 6 of Summerween. I did not update you yesterday because I was really busy with work, and by the time that I got off work I was very tired. But yeah, I wanted to fill you in and let you know. So I will finish their Monstrous Hearts either today or tomorrow, and I hope to have this vlog up by Saturday, which is the last day of Summerween. So we shall see how it goes. Ooh, I'm very white right now. That sun is beating down. Hello, Lilas. Bigger. I need to clean my office. That's getting out of hand. So, wanted to let you know that I have finished all the books that I said that I was going to read for this readathon. And I read the rest of their Monstrous Hearts. And I'm going to give it a 2.5 stars. I didn't mesh well with this book until the very end. It's very slow. It's a very slow book. And the overall butterfly metaphor in here, I understood at the end, but it wasn't very well explained throughout the book. Like, this book has a lot in it. The writing is very simplistic, and it's hard to follow at times. I liked the journal entries more than the rest of the story, but overall it was just alright. I do think that I will end up reading from this author again, because this was their debut book in English. So I think that had a little bit to do with it. I don't know if it was translated. I don't think it was. But I like the overall storytelling, or I like the overall story of the book. I just think it needed a little bit more of development throughout. And the horror part that came in at the end, I thought was done very well. I was going to give this book like a 1.5. But when the ending happened and like all of the horror gore started happening, and this dude's grandmother in here, she's a piece of work. I liked all that. It just took until like the 75% mark to get to that. And I like slow horror, obviously, but that's a little too slow for me. So 2.5 stars. I don't think that it's a horrible book by any means. I think that this would be good for people who don't like overly gory or overly like scary books. And it's more literary, I would say, than it is just like a typical horror genre book. So yeah. My favorite book that I read in this entire video is Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. I looked and my library has all of her backlists, so you know I'm about to go check out all of those books so I can read all of those books. I do plan on reading this book with the audiobook again, but physically like eyeballs in, you know, too, while reading, because I did read it some with the audiobook, but I listened to this pretty much in a day, and my kids were here and it was just a chaotic day, so I don't think that I did this book the justice that it deserved. So I plan on doing a reading vlog where I reread some books that I did not rate highly, and Cackle by Rachel Harrison is one of those books that I plan on rereading. So I'll put that in, I'll put this book in there too, because there are some books that I still have that I did not rate highly back in the day. So I think that that will be a good video. I did complete the majority of the prompts. I got a bingo on the bingo board. I think the only prompt that I didn't get to, was it like reading a horror book or something like that? Oh, reading outside. No, I'm not reading outside. It's too freaking hot. It's like 97 degrees every single day. Even when it rains, it's that hot. I'm not reading outside. So I did not get to all the prompts because no, negative. But I did have a really good time with this video. I hope that you enjoyed it too. And just seeing me read pretty much 5 books in 5 days. Because today is the 7th day. Tomorrow is Saturday. So I hope to have this vlog up Saturday. That's the plan. If not Saturday, Sunday. It'll be at one of those days. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of these books, if you plan on reading any of these books. And I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.